vote that doesn't matter. Voting is essential as it makes sure that the final decision is fair and equal for each and every citizen and candidate. As a girl living in 2023, I consider myself extremely lucky to be born in this day and age. A day where as a girl I could vote from the age of 18, the same as everyone else. However, this was not always the case. Women in Ireland only won the right to vote in 1918 after years of fighting and hardship. Women lost their lives for other women to have the right to vote. This is why it's so important for us to use our vote. In Ireland, you can vote for many things, such as electing committees in your school or local club. We are so lucky here to have the right to vote from the age of 18 for members of parliament or president. It is very important that we use our vote because, as I said at the beginning, if you don't vote, other people will decide who represents you. In America, at the last presidential election, only 67% of American citizens voted, which is the most Americans to vote in the last 120 years. But imagine, if the other 33% of people had voted, it could have been a very different election result. Staying in America, in the year 2000, in the presidential election, George W. Bush took on Al Gore, in which the election came down to such a small margin, there had to be a recount in Florida. George W. Bush narrowly won by 0.0009%, equaling the 537 votes. Imagine, if 538 more people had voted for Al Gore, he would have won. In the European election, you can vote from the age of 18. In Ireland, you can use your vote to help your local area, your country, or as I was saying, to help shape tomorrow's Europe, by voting in the European election, which takes place every 5 years. Voting is a chance for people to stand up for what they think matters, because their vote matters. Another reason as to why you should vote is that in some countries, they cannot vote at all. Or if they can, the people must meet a very specific standard or meet certain people. They are led to believe their opinion doesn't matter. We are privileged here in Europe to have the right to vote, and so we should use our vote and be an example to others to show that their opinion does matter. Your vote doesn't just affect you, it can also change the lives of others. It can be for the people who don't have the means to speak for themselves too. This is proof again that there is no such thing as a vote that doesn't matter. Thank you for listening. I hope I've made it clear as to why I believe that there is no such thing as a vote that doesn't matter.
Hello everyone, and I'm going to talk to you and hopefully convince you that there is no such thing as a vote that does not matter. Everyone's opinion matters. To explain, voting is about making a choice, your choice. It is where you express your preference. It can be as simple as deciding what you have for dinner, choosing the captain of your football team, or indeed, if you are over 18 years of age, it might be to help decide who runs the country. We are so lucky in Ireland and Europe that we are given the right to choose. This is a democracy, and it allows for fairness where everybody's vote counts. When we vote, it is a celebration of the important choices we make and the changes we can bring about. Not every country in the world affords their citizens a right to choose, so we must never take for granted our democratic freedom. We must remember that our ancestors fought hard for equal rights and improvements to our constitution. It was in 1793 that Irish Catholics first got the right to vote. In 1918, women were granted the right to vote, but only if they were 30 and met certain conditions. Finally, in 1972, the voting age was lowered to 18 for all. These changes over the years were important to the democratic right we enjoy today. Let's make sure that we can continue to improve on these rights for future generations. Voting is a part of being a good citizen. It is important to be informed on current issues, and when it comes time, vote to give your opinion. Help shape your nation. When we talk about voting and democracy, it is important to always remember the importance of treating everyone equally. We must have respect for other people's opinions. A debate of differing opinions is what makes the world go around. I hope I've convinced you that voting is a special right and an important thing we should do. When we vote, we respect those in the past who secured the right to vote and to help future generations achieve their dreams. Every vote is important because real change happens when many people speak together. Raise your voice and make your choice. Use your vote. Thanks for listening.
Hello everyone, I'm maybe only 9 and I know I might be competing with people older and younger than me. But I know I have a voice. There's no such thing as a vote that doesn't matter. Voting is very important. A democracy is a way for people to participate in shaping the European Union. What issues can people impact on? Voting our representatives into Parliament, stop countries having bad relations and prevent people and their leaders having silly fights. We should only have peace. Another issue would be one of the biggest ones in the world, climate action. People need to get their litter in the bin, not on the floor. You either vote for the European Union or climate action is a very big one. It could be one of the easiest ones to fix if everyone gets together and changes how we live and it improves our lives. The EU makes rules and gives us guidance on how to do this. How exactly does the EU make these guidelines? Well, the EU has a population of 387,872. There are 27 countries in the EU. These people that represent their countries are called MEPs. Germany has the most MEPs, with 84. There are only 27 countries in the EU. Women only got the right to vote 105 years ago, which I think that's unfair. It took so long. I think that everybody should be treated the same, no matter race, religion, or gender. On the 6th to the 9th of June 2024 is the EU elections happen. Now, I please hope that I have convinced everybody that is here today. Voting is really important, and we are very lucky to be able to vote today, thanks to our ancestors. Thank you for listening to my soapbox today.
Hello, my name is Years Old. I am here to discuss the topic, there is no such thing as a vote does not matter. Firstly, in my opinion, everyone's vote should be taken seriously, regardless of gender, race, or creed. Voting can be simple as choosing which movie to watch, or even when you reach 18, vote for how our country is run. In Ireland, we are allowed to vote from the age of 18 and up. This is called democracy. Voting is supposed to be an equal and fair way to bring people's opinions across, but this is not always the case. In some parts of the globe, people don't have the rights to vote. This happens in communist countries. Secondly, as a girl in the year 2023, I look back to only 1918, when women got the right to vote thanks to the suffragette movement, who after many years of protesting, women finally got the right to vote at the age of 30 with college qualifications. At the time, many women could not afford college, so there were still many smart, independent women being ignored. At the time, men could have voted at the age of 21 without college qualifications. This wasn't fair, so they fought for their rights for 4 more years. And finally, in the year 1922, they got their right to vote just like men. Many women lost their lives and were sent to prison just for stating their opinion. They lost their lives for women to vote. This shows how, to me, they were heroes. This shows how important voting is for our community and the rest of the world. So we must never take it for granted that we have the right to vote, but instead celebrate and encourage others to do the same. Next, in a modern world, equality is key. But This is so wrong and needs to change. In Europe, you have to be 21 years or older to be an MEP. An MEP is a member of the European Parliament. I believe everyone's vote should be heard and treated equally. Because if people were to know that their votes weren't being listened to because of their religion or gender, do you think they would vote? Would you? Well, I certainly wouldn't. And if no one were to vote, there'd be truly no fair way to decide how our country is run. Finally, I might just be an 11-year-old, but I have a voice, and a voice that wants to be heard. Most of us here tonight are children under the age of 16. You might think we are just kids, but we have a voice, and a voice that wants to be heard. We're the next generation, so we should be listened to sooner rather than later. I hope I've convinced you that there is no such thing as a vote that does not matter. Thank you.